In order to talk about unit rate, we need to go over a couple of definitions. First of all, let's review our definition of ratio. A ratio is a comparison of two numbers or quantities and with the same units. And the reason why we want to put that is because rate is very similar to ratio. Rate is a comparison of two quantities with different units. So this would be something like I can get 400 miles out of 20 gallons of gas. So that would be a comparison of two numbers with different units. So a unit rate is a rate where the second number is 1. So with the example of the 400 gallons of gas or 400 miles on 20 gallons of gas would be 20 miles per gallon. And we deal with unit rates all the time. Gas, if that's $3.20 per gallon, or if you make, $13.50 per hour, those are all unit rates. And unit rates are very convenient to use because all you need to know is how many gallons of gas you're going to buy or how many hours you're going to work and multiply that by the rate, the unit rate, and you will find out how much you're going to pay or how much you're going to make. So let's do an example where we complete a table, write a unit rate for the given situation, and then graph the relationship on a coordinate plane. So we have this table. You can see that it has the hours, half an hour, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4 hours. And we already know one thing, and that is that Marge parked at the airport for an hour and a half. So that's 1.5 and was charged $12. So maybe we could go ahead and write that one in there. And the airport charges per half hour, which is why the table goes by half hours. Well, the easiest thing to do is to see that if we divide this by 3, 12 divided by 3 is 4. So obviously it's $4 for every half hour. And I'm probably not going to be able to keep on writing those dollar signs, but we should. And then the easiest way to find out, a dollar, or for 1 hour, is to double the 4. So that would be $8. And then we can logically figure these out. Obviously 2 would be double 1, so that's going to be 16. 2.5 would just be adding $4 to the 16 to get $20. 3 would just be 3 times 1, which is $24. Again, add $4 to the 24 because it's another half to get 28. So filling out the table is not too much of a challenge. $4 would be double 2 hours, so 16 doubled is 32. So we filled in the table, but we still need to write the unit rate. So the unit rate is going to be right here. How much money for 1 hour. So we write out unit rate. The unit rate is $8 per hour, and that is a unit rate because the second number is 1. It's an understood one, $8 per 1 hour. We don't say 1 hour, but we understand that that's what is intended, $8 for every 1 hour. So now let's graph that. So I'm just going to sketch a graph. And we know that in our table the top one is the x and the bottom one is the y. So in our graph the horizontal is the x and the vertical is the y. So we know that the number of hours, or the time in hours, will be the x, and the charge will be the y, or we can just put the money. And so then what to count by? Well, in the hours I only need to get up to 4. So I can go a half, 1, a half, 2, a half, 3, a half, 4. Ooh, I barely got it on there. And I can just label, maybe I do a different color so you can see it. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. And up the side. And we don't have to label every single one again, so this would be 8, 16, 24, 32, and then we graph them. My sketching is not great. And if we wanted to, we can draw a line through it. We wouldn't necessarily have to, because, well, really, we shouldn't. And the reason we shouldn't is because a line indicates that every single one of these points is a valid number of time or amount of time and a valid amount of money. So if you were being charged kind of by the second, then maybe those would be valid. So the line really just shows the general increase, whereas really these points are really the only valid ones, because even if you do stay only 15 minutes, you're still gonna pay $4. Or if you go for 2 hours and 1 minute, you're still gonna pay for 2.5 hours because you're over 2 hours. But anyway, that's the graph.